Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Climb. Finally, we're back on air. It's been a couple of weeks. Look what we've been building. Look at this beautiful set. What a blessing it is to have such a talented team who took their time, used all their expertise in creating this beautiful set. I'm very excited. One of the things that we always want to do at The Climb is we want to give it a fresh feeling, something innovative, something youthful. Remember, I am a millennial financial advisor who launched my own firm. And bringing that to the market, to the audience. The goal is for the climb and journey equity to have a different feel. My vision is to really create a relationship with the audience, the people we serve. My goal is to have a conversation with the people that we serve so we can have a conversation around the things that really matter, which is life's choices. How do we navigate life? Like really take a minute to dissect what I'm saying. Life is so precious, so short. We're used to going through the motions, and how many times do we actually take a moment to take a step back and reflect on our purpose, our why of things, what gets us up in the morning, what motivates us, where do we sit, where are we heading, and that's why I wanted to do something a little bit different. That's why you're seeing me wear my suit today, for example. By the way, I'm going to continue to play with the attire from time to time, but today I wanted to focus on something that is the foundation of everything that we do, which is financial planning, right? Um, where do we sit financially? Where does our income come from? How much of our money are we actually keeping? What are we spending? How are we spending? And that really allows us to start defining the goals, um, our life's goals, and so that we can navigate life's journey. So let's get to it. Let's start this episode today here at The Climb.
Life is full of choices, but how do all these choices connect? And how do we plan for what matters most? Because when your life goals align with the right financial strategy, you don't just dream, you climb.
All right. Well, the question is, how many times do we come across people who may make a lot of money, but they never have any money, or it's never enough? And yet we'll find people who don't make as much, but seem to have a little bit more financial freedom, financial flexibility. They seem to have things in order, and a lot of that has to do with the planning stage, which is called comprehensive financial planning. And I'm going to give you some examples. I've had the privilege of working with um, a lot of families, hundreds, if not thousands of families over my 20 plus year career, close to 20, what is it, 24 years now. I've had clients, for example, who make $50,000, but when I say $50,000, I don't mean $50,000 a year. I mean $50,000 a month. But they seem to never, ever have any money. And the reason for that is because, yeah, they have a nice house. They have a massive house. They have the latest luxury cars, the latest fashions. They travel. They fine dine. Their kids go to the best schools, which, these things are important. Let's not underplay those things because they're important. And there's nothing wrong with them. The problem is, are you doing it intentionally? Are you defining what matters to you? And do you have a plan in place? Do you have money set aside for a rainy day, a reserve account, for retirement, if you get sick, if you lose your job, the ever life-changing events, right? That's why this matters, right? Because in this scenario, and these are real scenarios that I've come across throughout my career. Some of these people, they don't have enough for these events. All of a sudden, one thing goes wrong, and it's complete catastrophe for them, complete chaos, and that's just not smart planning. On the other hand, I'll never forget, for example, my high school cafeteria lady, such a sweetheart, um, making just a little bit above minimum wage, right? But she always had a great energy, was very happy to be with the students, would always engage us in life lessons and conversation. That's why I know this story, because she would share. And one of the things I learned from her is, even though she barely made a little bit over minimum wage, She owned multiple properties, free and clear, no mortgages. She had passive income. And the reason why she was in the school is because she enjoyed being with the kids. She didn't have that financial burden, that cross that felt burdensome. No, she did it out of her will, out of her enjoyment of how she valued spending her time. So we're going to get into that. Today, I'm going to share with you a little video that we put together. If you guys remember the EdSci video, I'm committed as a firm, as a channel, to bring you the latest technologies. I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like today. This presentation is me speaking. It's one of my voice avatars. I created the content, I proofread it, so it's me, okay? So I want to clarify that. But I am using latest technology to package it all together because AI could be one or two things. Some people feel threatened by it. They think that they're replacing jobs, which, there's always going to be some trade-offs with technology, right? Some industries die, new ones are born, right? And we always have to make sure we're finding the latest and newest trends that can complement our careers. But for me as a financial advisor and someone and a millennial, AI has become more of a complementary tool that helps me navigate these processes, right? So it's allowing us to create better content, better graphics, visuals, to add value to the people we want to serve. So I am very honored and grateful to share with you this little presentation on financial planning. Enjoy.
Financial planning is often misunderstood as a tool for the wealthy, but in reality, it's the blueprint for how your family wins. It's about being intentional with every dollar to ensure security for generations. Without a proper plan, 70% of estates face complications, legal delays, or unnecessary taxes. These are losses that could have been avoided with simple, proactive steps today. We are entering the largest wealth transfer in history. Millennials are set to inherit trillions, yet many aren't prepared to manage that legacy while growing their own young families. Today, we're bridging that gap. We'll cover cash flow mastery, risk protection, smart tax strategies, and the essentials of estate planning for both parents and their children. Welcome to the course. I'm Esau Juarez. Whether you're a millennial starting your journey or a parent looking to pass the baton, this lesson is designed for your family's success. Building on our previous talk about general wealth mindsets, today we get practical. We're moving from thinking about money to structuring your family's financial future. The first pillar is the foundation of everything, cash flow. You cannot build a multi-generational legacy if you don't have a clear grasp on your monthly incomings and outgoings. A simple, effective framework is the 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of your income to needs like housing and food, 30% to wants, and at least 20% to your future. But real life isn't always a perfect pie chart. Especially for millennials supporting both children and aging parents, your needs might look different than the average person. We customize these strategies for multi-generational households. This might mean shared expenses or specific savings accounts dedicated to parental care and education funds for your kids. When you're intentional with that 20%, prioritizing high-interest debt payoff and consistent investing, you're twice as likely to feel financially secure and in control. Our second pillar is protection. This is often the most overlooked part of family planning, but it's what ensures your hard work isn't wiped out by a single unforeseen event. For life insurance, a solid starting point is 10 to 15 times your annual income. This isn't just a number, it's the replacement of your earnings for your family's future needs. The right coverage brings peace of mind. It covers debts, replaces lost income, and ensures that your children's education and your family's home are protected no matter what. For parents, protection is about safeguarding the assets you spent decades building. We look at liability coverage and structures that prevent your legacy from being eroded by risk. When we talk about protection, we're talking about a moat around your castle. It's the defensive play that allows your offensive investment strategies to actually work over decades. The third pillar is tax planning. This is where strategic decisions can save your family tens of thousands of dollars every single year. It's not just about compliance, it's about optimization. Maximizing your retirement contributions is the first step. By using tax-deferred accounts, you're letting more of your money compound for your family's future rather than paying it out today. For those inheriting wealth, understanding the step-up in basis is crucial. It can significantly reduce the capital gains taxes your family pays when transferring property or stocks. Every dollar saved in taxes is a dollar that can grow for your family. We focus on tax-efficient investments and maximizing every deduction available to your specific household situation. We coordinate tax planning between parents and children. By looking at the family as a whole, we can identify strategies that benefit everyone and keep more wealth in your hands. Finally, we reach our fourth pillar, estate planning. This is about legacy. It's a formal process of ensuring your assets go exactly where you want them to, with as little friction as possible. While everyone needs a will, many families benefit from trusts. Trusts provide more control, privacy, and can help your heirs avoid the lengthy and expensive probate process. A critical, often forgotten step is reviewing your beneficiary designations on all accounts. These often override your will, so keeping them updated is essential for a smooth transfer. For parents, this is your final act of stewardship. It's making sure the path is clear for your children to inherit not just your money, but the values and intentions behind it. And for millennials, this is your responsibility to step up. Being prepared for this inheritance means you can use it to secure your own children's future and continue the family's legacy. Consider a family that implements these 4 pillars today. Over 30 years, the compounding effect of tax savings and risk protection can result in millions of dollars in additional wealth. Let's recap. First, master your cash flow with a realistic budget. Second, protect your family's future with the right insurance and risk management. Third, optimize your taxes every single year to keep more of your earnings. And fourth, secure your legacy with wills, trusts, and updated beneficiary designations. You don't need to be perfect to start. Financial planning is a journey. The most important step you can take today is simply deciding to be intentional with your family's future. I'm Isa E. Juarez. Start small, stay consistent, and build the legacy your family deserves. Thank you for spending this time with me today.
All right, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that little presentation we put together for you guys. Again, the wonders with the new technology. And let's get to the core of what we're discussing today. You can't know or you can't plan for where you want to be without first knowing where you are. So remember that 50-30-20 rule you saw in the beginning of the video. 50% of your income is for your essentials. Things that no matter what happens, you absolutely have to pay for: your food, your utilities, your mortgage, your rent, the essentials of life that, like, hey, if things happen tomorrow, I need to cover these expenses no matter what. Okay. 30%, what did we talk about? Discretionary. Now, 30% is a lot. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility on what you can spend on. And then 20% is for your planning, right? So for those things for the future, like your children's education, buying a home, starting a business, your retirement planning. But here's what happens a lot to me in my practice. I get clients that come to me and say, how can I plan or put 20% of my income aside for these other things if I don't have any extra? I spend all my check, and if it happens to balance out, then I'll put some money aside. But since I never have any extra, or I rarely do, that's why I don't have any savings. That's exactly why financial planning is so important. We need to change that mindset. We need to do things differently. The idea is the first thing we should do is set aside 20% of our income for those goals that we've defined, for those parameters that we're establishing. Now the remaining 80% becomes your living budget for the 50% and 30% that we discussed. Now, are those set rules? No. Remember, these are guides, right? These can fluctuate depending on a number of variables. I would argue, for example, it depends on where you live, right? Some areas, maybe 50% is not quite enough for your essential expenditures, right? Especially here in California, it's very expensive. Other areas might be more cost effective. So maybe you don't have as big expenditure in housing. Maybe your mortgage is paid off, or you have a living circumstance that you don't have to worry about housing as a significant expenditure of your monthly budget, right? What do we do there? Well, we adjust, right? Does that mean you're going to spend more or increase your mortgage discretionary spending? Potentially. We want to plan for that. Or do you want to spend that extra money on your savings and long-term goals? Well, that's why you need to have a plan. That's why you need to work with someone. If you're not working with a financial advisor, that's why I recommend it, because they're going to help you navigate those choices, right? Like, as an advisor, my job is not to, in my opinion, tell you how to live your life. It's to really help you understand the choices, the trade-offs, the risk-reward, right? Because everything is going to have some type of trade-off, right? You can't have everything in life, unfortunately. I wish we can, right? And the biggest thing is time and money, right? So the more money you have, typically, the less time free time you have. The more free time you have, the less money you have, right? Some people have it both ways because they either inherited or they won a lottery or something, but that's rare. I'm talking in most cases. So being conscious of your choices, being conscious of the exchange between risk reward. The more risk I take, the more I can make, the more I can lose. Am I willing to live with that? Or do I go something more conservative or even something that's risk free? And I'm okay with not making as much because I like that peace of mind of having stability. Having these conversations are worthy to have an expert, a financial advisor, or if you're financial literate, work on your plan. Sit down with your spouse, your partner, or even with yourself and define these things for you. So, look, I want to take a moment to thank you guys and for your patience more than anything. This new format is only going to continue to get better. We're working on bringing so many more enhancements to the climb. We're going to continue to have guest speakers, not just in finance, but in health and nutrition. And by the way, when I speak about health, I don't mean just physical health, although that's important, obviously. Mental health. We're going to have people who are going to talk about philanthropy, who are going to talk about starting a business. Are going to talk about, I would like to bring people who share their stories with us. So we're just getting started. Very excited for this new format of the show. I look very much forward to seeing you next time here in The Climb. Follow us for more content. And by the way, we also have some free content to give you, free content that you can download that's going to become guides and help you navigate these choices. We'll see you next time here at The Climb.